Now, hello dear FORM1s, and welcome to today's presentation. And I trust and believe that you're fine and ready to move with me through this video class. And I'm confidently aware that you enjoyed our previous class and will therefore wish to draw your attention to today's reading and speaking skills improvement. Now, I'm aware that in our previous class, we looked at the different characteristics of famous people, or who a famous person is, and read a comprehension passage about a famous footballer. And I'm pretty sure that you understand, or you still remember who that footballer was. He was from Mozambique. We gave him so many attributes and so many characteristics that were supposed to actually be accompanied to him. And then after that, we answered the comprehension questions. So I would like us to link the previous class to this topic, since it forms part of the reading and speaking skills improvement. We're just continuing to look at those given characteristics. Now, our today's topic of presentation is adventure holidays. Now, when we mention the word adventure holidays, what comes into your mind? We have to ask ourselves a question. What is an adventure? So we answer this particular question, and then we try to move down to define and try to understand exactly what this adventure is at that particular point. Now, an adventure is an exciting experience that is typically a bold, sometimes a risky undertaking. That it is an exciting experience that is typically at times a bold and then sometimes risky undertaking. What does this mean? That you can love it at some point. That is what we call an adventure. It's very exciting. It's an exciting experience. But at some point, you may look at it that like it is something that is a bit risky, that you will not even want to partake in it. But the moment you do it, the moment you get into it and start enjoying it, and then it becomes so much an exciting experience. There may be activities with some potential for physical danger, such as traveling, exploring, skydiving, mountain climbing, scuba diving, river rafting, or participating in extreme sports. These are just things that we do. I know most of you like traveling, most of you like exploring, most of you have gone mountain climbing and even scuba diving, river rafting. These are just the kind of sports that you partake in. Most of you have done them, and if some of you have not done them, I will invite you that you take that adventure, you take that exciting experience and try to look at exactly what they are. Now, characteristics of adventures. Remember, in our last class, we talked about characteristics of famous people. Now, I have told you in the introduction that we are linking this topic of discussion to the previous one because we are still concentrating on the reading and speaking skills. Now, the first characteristic of an adventure is that it's an action of excitement. It's action, and that action should be an action of excitement. They have fast-paced, action-packed plot lines. Most adventures are actions. They are things that you engage in. They are things that you do. They are things that are exciting. You feel good when you are partaking in those given experiences. You feel an excitement. Now, that given excitement that you get into, that is one of the characteristics of an adventure. For example, when you talk about mountain climbing, you leave home and then you visit a given place and then you go and perform something there. You go for mountain climbing. You go on top of the cliff. You climb a mountain. You feel relaxed. You view the environment from that given mountain top. That is what we are calling an exciting experience. Now, when you go to swimming, for example, you go to swim, and then once you are in the swimming, or rather at the swimming area, you start swimming and feel good. That is an action that you are engaging in. That one is an excitement. Now that when you get back home, you are not able to forget that given experience. That is what we call an action that is packed with excitement. The second characteristic is that adventures are have courageous protagonists. A protagonist is somebody who goes out A protagonist is somebody who is there, who wants to move things. And that person should be courageous. I want you to put yourself in this given shoe of a protagonist. That you are the one who wants to move things. That you are the one who is courageous, who wants to go swimming. You are the ones who want to go for motorboat ride. Now, once you are there, you are the person we are calling a protagonist. And you have to be courageous. Remember, we are talking about a risky experience. We are talking about maybe something that you are not able to partake in. Now, in this particular point, a courageous protagonist will drive things. A courageous protagonist is somebody who will be able to understand, to let it go, to move out, and then be in a position to understand that exactly this is what we are talking about. Number 3, or the third adventure, is that these adventures have dark moods or terrifying scene. What does that mean? That if the scene is terrifying, people look at it as something that cannot be done. But then, since you are a courageous protagonist, you go out and then you do it. And the moment you do it, that is now what makes it an adventure. That is what makes it an exciting thing. Now, in that particular case, we find there's a dark mood. People are looking at it from the negativity that maybe you are in water, you are swimming, and then you might drown. But then for you, you are looking at it from the positive aspect. The scene is terrifying, people are afraid, but because you are so courageous, you go out there. That one becomes an adventure. And then evil adversaries also come there and form part of this given characteristics of that given adventure. Now, basically, an adventure can be frightening or it can be great. And then if it is frightening, fine, it is frightening. But because it has a courageous protagonist, it has somebody who wants to partake in it, it has somebody who wants to go into it and do it, it becomes great. Now, successful lives grow out of successful adventures. We're being reminded that let us love adventures. Let us get out. Let us be courageous. Get to what the adventures want. And in as much as we are there, we are making our lives successful. Now, the adventure of your life is so important that it demands the best of your attention and the most of your energies in a daily basis so that it can be lived well. Yes, that is true. That you have to live a life. You have to go and adventure. And once you are adventuring, it becomes an experience that you cannot forget easily. That given experience that you cannot forget easily, that is what we are calling an adventure. Now, having looked at that, I want to invite you to look at a classwork or an assignment that I want you to do for me. And to form part of this given assignment, I want you to actually take your exercise books and then write about a place you have visited. And once you are writing about this young place, write about a place that you have visited that made an impression to you. What do I mean? Making an impression that you are not able to forget about that given place. And as you are writing about it, include the name of the place. Let it be very clear in your exercise book. Where did you visit? What is the exact name of that particular place? And then number 2, activities that you took or participated in. Activities that you took or participated in. There are activities that you took in, or rather you participated in, and then bring out those activities in a paragraph. Let us be able to follow you. Let us move together and try to understand exactly that this is what you did. And then, what impressed you and made it adventurous? This is now the most logical bit in your article. This is what should come out properly. What impressed you and what made it adventurous? Note that all the exercise books will be checked when we meet in our face-to-face classes. Ensure the work is well done. Do a good work. And as you do that given good work, ensure that your paragraphs are linking from one paragraph to another. Use cohesive words. Use transitional words and phrases so that as we read through your work, we are able to understand exactly what the adventurous bit was, what was it, the name of that given place, and then what impressed you, what made you like that given scene to make it be called an adventure. Having said that, I want us to stop there for today and we meet again when time allows. Continue being safe so that we meet again in our next class. Thank you very much. I'm your teacher, Crispin Musiri.